Hello, everybody, and I'm excited to be with you today. My name is KitanDavid. I'm an ambassador for Future Work Africa, and I'm excited to join you on this virtual show organized by RavenBrooks. I'm super excited to be here today, and I'm honored. Kudos to the work they've been doing across different parts of Nigeria and in Benin especially. I've been on programs with Reverend Brooks before, and I'm honored to be invited again. A brief explanation of what I do. I'm an ambassador for Future Work Africa, which means over the past 13 years, I've been traveling around African countries, Ghana, Kenya, Benin Republic, Togo, Uganda, Rwanda, and South Africa, and basically preaching the gospel of work. I preach the gospel of the future of work. That's what I do. I'm a tech evangelist. And on the other hand, I lead this NGO that has reached out to 9,650 kids across the rural communities in all these countries I earlier mentioned. And that puts me in a position to talk to the teachers, because when it comes to the education sector, teachers are the major stakeholders. I mean, everybody listening to my voice right now has once had a teacher that has influenced you. Even teachers have teachers that influences them. And across formal and informal educational sector, these teachers play a major role in what a child and what the children and what the future will actually look like. So what kind of future are we building if we are not building the teachers? And this is what I'll be explaining throughout this short time we have together. So grab your pen, grab your jotters. We have a lot of things to learn. Let's go. Okay, guys. So we are talking about the future of work, the place of the 21st century teachers. So the course outline, we'll run through this very quick. First, we need to understand what's this future of work jargon. Then number two, I'm not a techie. I know a lot of teachers say I'm not a techie. I even barely use the computer and all of this, and that is some form of fear, or should I say, an excuse, and we are going to be trashing that out. Then, how does this affect me? Yeah, I'm a teacher in a government college. I'm a teacher in a private school. I'm a teacher in an informal sector. How does this affect me? I mean, I'm doing my job and I'm getting paid. So, how does this really affect me? Then, how can I be the teacher the world needs now? Then growth. Okay. So, by the end of this course, by the end of this session, you'll be able to understand what the future of work entails. Like after you've listened to this, you go out now and you know if anybody talks about future work, you know what that means. Then you are able to understand your position in getting the African child prepared for this future. Why didn't I say getting a child? Because the struggles of the African child is different from the struggles of excuse me, is different from the struggles of all the other kids in the world. While the other kids are going to school, doing their things, working seamlessly over the internet, the African child is still suffering from bad roads, bad classrooms, no power supply, no drinkable water. Is probably not eating when he's in class, he's hungry, and he's not going to listen to anything you have to say. Then you'll be able to understand the trends, technologies, and the background needed to groom tomorrow's leaders effectively while remaining relevant as a teacher. So I'm not going to be selfish in all of these teachings, just about the child, the child, the child. How does me as a teacher, how do I fit into this future? Am I prepared for the disruption that is going to happen to the educational sector, or I need to go back to the drawing board? Now, I like to use a scapegoat because I cannot keep mentioning all the name of the teachers in the room. So our scapegoat for this class is a teacher named Efe Martins, and is the class teacher of GSS 2B. So I would be using Efe, and when I say Efe Martins, just know that represents you as a teacher. And yeah, you teach GSS 2B just for the sake of this session. All right, so let's go straight into it. So, future of work, just as I wrote it, work they get future. Work is a verb. Work could be a noun. So how does work has a future? I mean, it's strange. So I want you to understand If you look at the other side, the right hand side of the slide, you see the five trends shaping the future of work. And I want you to understand very carefully that this work, yes, work as in everything everybody is doing now, also daily job is what I'm calling work, is what is called work in the future of work. Now, the future of work is what it is going to look like in the nearest future, starting from 2022 to be precise. It has started already, but it's just going to start eating the world big in 2022. That is when you will start fully seeing the results of all this jargon I've been spitting out since morning. And this is not another thing that some dude or some pot-bellied men in the United Nations office or somewhere in the IMF or somewhere in the US are trying to cook together to come and use their bread to pack our soup. No, this is something that everybody in the world is collectively doing together, not even knowing that they are doing it. I hope you get what I'm saying. So, and what is this future work shaped on? What is shaping this future work? What is telling us that in the next future, in the nearest future, the way we do things will be different? It's these five things that is listed on the trends shaping the future work. All right. So number one is new behaviors. If you are a parent to the millennials, of course, you're teachers. So you understand that the kids of nowadays have new behaviors. And that new behavior is, all the new behaviors they have is shaped by social media and the web. So like people see things on social media now and just take it hook, line, and sinker. They don't even care about the credibility of the person that posted it. And then trends, we have influencers, we have YouTube stars, we have Facebook stars, we have Instagram stars, and these people are beginning to shape the way we do things. The fact that information is just at the tip of your finger. I remember when I was a kid, when my mom told me something is final. But right now, if I tell my nephew or my niece something, they Google it and they look at me and say, Uncle, that's not true. So person was not buried in 1914. He was buried in 1918, and all those kind of things. So the fact that information is at their fingertip is beginning to shape the behavior. And if behavior of the people living is shaped to look like something, they are definitely going to create something else that is going to affect the way they work. Number two is technologies. There is there's an app for almost everything. They have games. They are more reserved to themselves. They are not as social as we were. They have different social skills, and my generation and the older generation think they don't have social skills at all. Meanwhile, that's not true. They have different social skills, and it's shaped by technologies, by data. The fact that the Internet of Things. I mean, they want to eat now and they're like, Mom, just order something on the internet for us and let us eat. They don't want to go out. And if they want to go out, they want to go have fun. If it's not fun, they're not going out because they are going to have better fun at their fingertips with their phone. Then number three is the millennial workforce. These millennials and the generation after us, we we have new attitudes and expectations, and the way we want to work is different. We want to work differently. We want to earn differently. We don't want to do the same work our parents did and our grandparents did, and we want to earn better money than that. And that's what pushed us to different kind of things, both legal and illegal ways of making money. Then number four is mobility, the ability to work from anywhere. This generation that are in school right now and the generation that just even graduated school, they want to be able to work from anywhere. They want to work as a banker from home. They want to be able to do four jobs at the same time and get paid from four different interesting jobs, not just jobs that are forced to do. They want to live, they don't want to survive. And number five is globalization, the fact that they hate borders. Like they already have one friend in Japan that they met on Facebook and they are talking with. So all these behaviors is happening across the continent, it's happening across the world to these kids, to these people, and definitely it's going to shape the way they work. If we say children are the future, are the leaders of tomorrow, children are the future, that means their behaviors, the technologies they use, their affection for mobility, the kind of work and how they want to deliver their work, and the fact that they don't like boundaries, they don't like laws, they don't like rules, globalization, and all of these things is going to definitely shape the way they are going to work. And if it's going to shape the way they are going to work, we all are going to be alive by that time. and it's going to affect us. So, why is the future work? The first being the growing adoption of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and augmentation in the workplace and the work task. It is, you know what all that big grammar means right now? It means that every sector in the world, and I repeat it, every sector in the world is going to look for how they can automate things, how they can make machines do the work of humans. And you know why every employer prefers machines to humans? I could share you a lot of reasons, billions of reasons why we all as employers prefer machines to humans. First, machines don't gossip. Two, machines don't go on public holiday. Machines don't come together to create a secret WhatsApp group that the boss is not in. Machines don't ask for salary raise. Machines don't go on strike. Machines do not sexually harass the boss or get sexually harassed, as at 2020. Machines, what else? When machines get fired, machines don't go around bad mouthing the company. I mean, machines don't file lawsuits against the company. There are like a lot of reasons why people want to employ machines to do the work. And what's that going to do? Every sector. Don't think there is no sector that can be affected. And the story I like to say is in the olden days, not so old, right? Like in the early 80s and late 70s, they were telling our parents then to say computer is coming to take over their job. They should go and learn computer skills. I mean, you look back now and look at some people actually paid 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira to learn Microsoft Word. And Microsoft Word, I mean, you don't need to learn it anymore. But the people that did that back then were the ones that their job got retained. Some of them even got promoted when computers actually hit. But some people did not just understand how a box called a computer is coming to take their job because they have a lot of work to do. A secretary to a local government chairman has filing, file outs. The person has invoices, procurement, sales orders. The person does auditing. And like, how is a computer going to do all of this? And a software called Excel just replaced it. And you know, the government paid the guy that knows how to operate Microsoft Excel lesser money, and they eventually fired messengers one by one. They fired some secretaries, and they started downsizing, even in government. And you know, when government start laying off people, government is always the last sect to lay off people because they are actually emotionally inclined to the people, and then they take action slowly. Right now, you know, the coronavirus pandemic had made some banks realize that they don't need so many branches. They fired so many staff. I mean, that's just the rehearsal to what the future work is going to be doing. And right now, schools are beginning to go online. We saw during the pandemic that schools felt like it's true. We didn't actually need a physical building. I know schools that wrote exams online and then took classes on Zoom, took classes on Google Meet, and they began asking questions that should we have built this massive building in the first place? And while their teachers still getting paid, I mean that's part of the conversations I had with teachers during the pandemic, during the lockdown. Like you are home, your school has taken trainings online, you now teach lesser hours, and your school is still paying you, and you are not worried. My dear, one day the school is going to wake up and tell you you are fired because they've been able to record these videos and get one teacher to be teaching 20 classes because all he's now doing is monitoring a learning process and not actually teaching again because the teaching has been recorded, the teaching has been gamified, the teaching has been digified. And it is the teacher that's positioned his or herself to be able to get his or her classes gamified, his or her classes digified, his or her classes deliverable online, connecting to the kids of this generation is the one that will exist in the future work as a teacher. So that is what we are saying. And what does the World Economic Forum say? World Economic Forum says that by 2022, 65 million people are going to lose their job. And 65 million jobs are going to be lost, which includes teaching, which includes banking, which includes cashiers, which includes tellers, which includes anything that has to do with papers, printers, operators, and all of that. But that's not a bad news. Should we panic? Should we go into hiding and say, "Oh, I'm going to lose my job. What's going to happen to me?" That same 2022, 133 million jobs are going to be opened.
So we should not be scared of unemployment. What we should do is prepare ourselves for re-employment. And that is this class is a massive opportunity. If you're listening to what I'm saying right now, it's a massive opportunity for you to, like, it's a wake up call for you to take in everything that we'll be talking about today and see how this future that has already started but will start eating big by 2022. Imagine something starts eating big and it starts with 65 million jobs being lost. By 2023, we are talking about 300 million jobs being lost. 2025, 1 billion jobs being lost. But then 2 billion jobs being opened, not with the same skills anymore, because we are going to need re-employment to favor that generation. And I hope we as teachers, we are prepared for it. So the dimensions that the future of work is going to come in through is going to be job creation, job destruction, quality of jobs is going to be increased. Like, we won't be doing hard work again, we'll be doing smart jobs. Then social protection, wage and income equalities, teachers will get paid higher than they are paid right now. And that's because teachers then are not using the same skills and method as teachers now. So the teacher that's prepared himself for that is the one that will get higher income. The teacher that discards this teaching and says, it's not for me and all that, we watch it or our income go down drastically. And sorry, this is not the time you feel like you can start the coaching center, because nobody's even going to come to your coaching center. Then social rules and industrial relations. So next slide. The next slide is Mr. KitanDavid. Thank you so much for scaring us. Right? You really, really scared us. I'm not a techie. God forbid that I'm even a techie. I am not going to, I don't know how to play with computers. It's my children that play with the computer. I hear this a lot. I know I'm speaking somebody's mind right now, right? Like, I'm not a techie. I'm not going to do anything with computers. No, I don't like computer. Computer is of the devil and all of that. Okay, so a person who is a techie in the first place, according to Merriam-Webster, a person who is knowledgeable or enthusiastic about technology, and especially high technology, is a techie. So for the fact that up until this point that I am talking, you've not slept, shows that there's a techie inside you, and I'm going to wake that techie up today. So throw that I am not a techie out of the window. And please, we are not doing technical jargons here. We are not using computer to fry dodo and bring the sky down. It is just to teach kids and prepare them for the future of work while you position yourself for this future. So I am not a techie. That ends today, right? I want you to say I am a techie. Yes, I hope you said it, right? Say it. I am a techie. I am a teacher and I am a techie. Can I hear that? I am a teacher and I am a techie. I am very knowledgeable and enthusiastic. You are making a confession. I want to hear everybody say, can we go again? I am a teacher and I am a techie. I am a person who is very knowledgeable and enthusiastic about technology. I use technology and high-end technology to deliver lectures and teaching to the future generation. So I am not a techie. That ends today. All right, guys. So in this room right now, I have techies and I have teacher techies. And that's sweet. That's beautiful. That's the future of work we're talking about. Let's move on. So this future of work, bros, how the thing take affect me now? Like, I don't understand how it take affect me. So if you look at the picture on this side, you see five teachers, right? Five teachers trying to fight with the technology. Like, this we need to relearn this thing. Some of us are even restricting phones. No phones in our schools. No this, blah 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 blah. And we are fighting it. No matter how you fight it, it's just going to be easy for the future to just displace you. So other than fight it, you are lying. And then, I mean, let's go through the market jargons. The research by American Action Forum says that 400 million jobs worldwide will face automation by 2030. Why 800 million jobs? 400 million jobs in the US. Why 800 million jobs worldwide? And I've said all of that before. 63 million jobs were lost, but 133 million jobs were created. So, as a teacher right now, you stand the chance of losing your job or getting re-employed into teaching at its core, and getting times four or whatever you are getting already in terms of revenue, salary for people that run coaching center. You're going to take it to another level and you're going to reach more people from the confines of your home. Okay, so how do I now become the teacher the world needs now? Bros, mommy, daddies, we no get choice. Oh. We no get any choice. This is not something that you are saying that I'm a teacher in the village before technology reach our village. No, the world just launched 5G. It's going to reach everybody. So the first thing you need to have is empathy. Empathy is understanding that these things that I am saying right now are real and they're super, 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 super real. And you need to, the next time you're in school, you need to look at that child and feel like, I have to really deliver this training to you the way the future wants it, the way it's supposed to be, so that you could get out there and make good use of yourself, right? Then next thing, once you come to that understanding as a teacher, the next thing is research and tools. What tools do you use? As a teacher right now, you should know about video conferencing tools, and I hope you're taking notes. You should know about Google Meet. You should know how to use Google Meet. You should know when to use Google Meet. You should know about Zoom. Some of us have been in a Zoom class once or twice. Have you hosted a Zoom class? It starts gently. Because if you don't start it gently in 2022, it's going to eat big and they're going to fire you. So right now, you are a class teacher. That there's nothing that stops you from saying every third Saturday of the month, I'm going to be having sessions on Zoom with all of you, even if it is a 15-minute session. And then you're like, okay, you're not teaching anything yet. Like I said, you're starting gently. You're just saying, okay, so I want us to, I've dropped something in the chat session of this Zoom class, and I want you to tell me that thing you want improved in class. Then in the last mathematics class we had, does anybody have any question? I can really talk about it now. The fact that you hosted these kids on Zoom or on Google Meet, Google Classrooms, like it brings you up to some level, and then you have to do it out of interest. Because when you do it, you start asking questions. Oh, how do I do this? Then you know about this tool. You know about Google Slide. You write something about, you just taught social studies and you felt there's something interesting about, probably you told them the story of the Great Wall of Kano. And then you felt there's something interesting you didn't say that you saw over the internet. You put it on some Google Slides or Google documents, and then you put this link to the slide in the WhatsApp group of the class. You're already positioning yourself to be the teacher of the future. And when I say future, it's not 2035. It has started already. But then it will eat big in 2022. Like I always tell everybody, it's like I am currently like Noah preaching that rain is going to follow, and everybody is saying, what is rain? What is this future work that this guy is saying? Google it. Google it and find it out. You find out I'm not the one that came up with the English called future work. I mean, the International Labour Organization in the US is preaching this too. Everybody is saying, just like Noah, this rain is about to fall, enter the ark. If you don't enter the ark, it will follow and there's nothing you can do. That's what I am saying right now. So I've talked about empathy, I've talked about research and tools. Now I'm talking about connecting. So if you have empathy towards these kids and you already know the tools you are supposed to use. So how did you connect? First, you need to know that these kids don't care. They don't care about you. They are waiting to graduate and they don't want to remember you. So you have to give them something. You have to connect to their level. Now, connecting to their level does not mean you become like them. It puts you are already in a leadership position, but you connect to their struggle, you connect to who they are, you connect to the fact that they are the fast generation, you connect to the fact that, like they say, Indomie generation, they connect to the fact that they don't see anything slow. They don't want anything slow. You have to connect to the fact that they don't want to be doctors, lawyers, and engineers. They want to be footballers, singers, and sports analysts. They want to be professional gamers. Some of them want to be lawyers, doctors, and engineers, but just a few. They are not going to die over it. If law is not working, they are going to throw law out of the window and go play football, go make music, or go act. And that's connecting. You need to get it that when you are looking at this child, the child that you are teaching right now in GSS 2B, and you as the teacher called Defi Martins, as the student called John. John is a brilliant kid. Gone are those days when all those brilliant kids go to study medicine. We need to understand that John might end up as a footballer. So John knows that he wants to play football, but he's brilliant. He's brilliant because of his environment. He's brilliant because of genes. He's brilliant because of hard work. But he's not going to take all those brilliance into medicine or engineering. He's going to take all those brilliance into football. So once you are beginning to bore him in class, he doesn't listen to you. It doesn't care about you because, I mean, nobody's going to use divide dx, or nobody's going to use the history of Roman Empire to shoot the ball into the net, right? And even the ones that want to be doctors, lawyers, and engineers are not bothered because what I tell kids when we go out to when we go to when we go on our reach out campaigns, I say there is no way a child will want to become what he doesn't know. So, for example, I go to the village and I see this child that is good with robotics, is good with tin, he knows how to take picnic tin and three crown tin and then put battery inside it, use Dunlop slippers to make tires, and that toy is moving around. He just made an electrical toy. I've met all those kind of kids in the villages before. And I asked him, what do you want to become? He says doctor. And I'm like, why do you want to be a doctor? You're talented in this area. Why are you not a robotics engineer? He's not a robotics engineer because that's the first time ever in his life he's hearing robotics engineer. So he just feels this is a talent that is useless, and then he really wants to do medicine. So you should understand that the child that wants to do medicine today and that wants to really do engineering and all that might be influenced by his parents. But when he eventually gets there, the way you think medicine will be practiced now, the way you see medicine being practiced now is not the way medicine will be practiced in the next 10 years. So he's going to take everything you've thrown him and taught him, and he's going to throw it out of the window. But you don't want to be that kind of teacher. And that spans into curriculum. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, we are not in charge of curriculum. There's this teaching body, education body that is in charge of the curriculum. But whatever curriculum is handed over to you, you can use these tools as basic as that. See, the moment you are doing few Zoom classes with parents, with kids, you are using Google Classroom, you are using slides, you're using Google Meet, you begin to ask yourself questions. How can I do this? Then you go, how can I take poll in my class? Okay, how do I know how many people want a test tomorrow and don't want a test tomorrow? And you say, how can I take a poll? Then you see Survey Monkey. Then oh, there's a Survey Monkey too. And then you bring Survey Monkey into the class. So if I am in your class as a student and I've used Zoom, I've used Google Meet, I've used Survey Monkey, I've used Jot Forms, I've used Microsoft Forms, just because you're my teacher, you are already preparing me for the future work because these are the things I will need in the workplace. And by the time I get into the workplace, either in internship in my university or in my NYC days, I stand an edge over my other peers. And when I stand an edge, I remember you. And it's the kids that you teach today. Most of us as teachers, that's the problem we face, or that's the beauty of our job. The kids you teach today, while you are still teaching, because if you're in government, you have 35 years to teach, if I'm not mistaken. While you are still teaching, these kids have grown and they are already in the educational sector, and they are beginning to rewrite your salary and reform everything. Why you that thought, whoever is the Minister of Education right now, and all the Minister of Education that existed, or Commissioner for Education, I'm sure the people that taught them in secondary school are still teaching in some secondary school. Why don't they remember them? Because they didn't prepare them for the future. So, you prepare them for the future, they are definitely going to remember you. And who knows, from there, you're on one board or the other. And then the attention span and interest of these kids, which I have actually mentioned. The kids of nowadays have an attention span of 20 seconds. When a teacher is in the class, except he's holding a horsewhip or a big cane, they just have 20 seconds to listen to you. If whatever you are saying is not making sense in the first 20 seconds, they give you another 20 seconds, they give you another 20 seconds. Once it's still not making sense, they lose interest. Even if they are looking at you and listening, it's just for fear. They are thinking of beans and dodo. They are thinking of their dad and their mom. They are thinking of their crush in class. But yeah, all these kids are crushes. They are thinking of the game they did not finish playing. They are thinking of the shoe they are going to wear tomorrow. They are thinking of their new Instagram account, how many followers they have. So they're just nodding in class. And when they say any question, no question, because they just want you to get out. Right? So that's the world we live in. And I hope I've been able to break it down to you and tell you what it really is. So what's the way forward? The way forward is data-driven decisions. This is the future work we're talking about. And then we moved from the first industrial revolution, which is steam and water. A lot of us were not born then. Second industrial revolution, which was about electricity. Right now, we just exited the third industrial revolution, which is about the internet, right? The internet and electricity, and then emails instead of night post and all of that. That's one sector too. When they were telling Nigerian Postal Service and all the postal services across Africa that some white dude in the United States is creating something called email and is going to reduce the money you guys make in night post. They didn't believe it. Yes, just creating of Yahoo Mail, Gmail, and Outlook reduced the revenue of Nigerian Postal Service almost by 80%. Why? Because a lot of things that is posted are actually letters. So just that innovation alone had to make a whole government agency restructure from being a postal service now to a logistics company. But they even restructured late. That is the exact same thing I'm saying. You can't think it. How are these things going to affect my job? They are definitely going to affect your job. Definitely they are going to affect your job. And when they affect your job, the way they will affect it, you wouldn't even know. So you have to start preparing it. Now we are in the fourth industrial revolution. And then, like I said, it's eating big in 2022. And what is in the fourth industrial revolution? Driverless cars. And you know what driverless cars means? Driverless cars means there are no longer be traffic. Smart robotics, everything is robotics. They want to submit the assignment online. They want to do everything online. They want to come to school. If necessary, come to school at all. Go to the dine for food, and food is being served by something that is not human. Then materials they want to use should be lighter and tougher. Instead of carrying books and writing assignments, they all just want to have a tab and a very light tab for education. They write all the assignments and all their notes. Students are not going to write notes anymore. Teachers are going to start writing notes and sharing with students. And students even comment on the notes, ask questions, correct the teacher and all of that. And then manufacturing processes built around 3D printing. That's definitely another class. This is the future that we are entering into. This is the future that either you like it or not is going to happen right in your faces in the next 2 years. And then the world will start shaking to change every sector, including the educational sector, to prepare themselves for it. Because no country wants to wallow in poverty. No president wants to be a president of poor people. Even if he's brutal or anything and wants to president poor people, he wants to be rich. Why not be the person that makes the nation rich? Why not be the person that makes the educational sector impactful? Why not be the person that sits by the time the Ministry of Education is reforming these things? Why haven't you done a lot of work around it that they call you to be in the committee and then you are moving these things in Nigeria? And that's definitely my joy. And I also think that's definitely the joy of this NGO, RavenBrooks. That is one of the key ways they are going to measure and evaluate this the impact of this seminar, this training, this workshop, and this bootcamp. And I am very, very, very sure that everything I taught today has lit up something in you. And then, boom, we are having teachers of the future. Thank you very much. My name is KitanDavid. If you have any questions, go to KitanDavid.com, fill the form there. My number gets automatically saved on your phone and we can chat on WhatsApp. Future is upon us and it is here. Let's prepare for the future. Work Africa. Thank you.